Have you ever heard of warriors who fought the mighty British Empire not with cannons, but with courage, machetes, and the spirits of their ancestors? In the thick forests of Igboland, a secret army rose from the shadows. They called themselves Ekumeku, and for over a decade, they became the nightmare of the British. They struck from the trees, vanished into the night, and refused to kneel. This is not just a story. This is a war. This is resistance. This is the fire of a people who said no to foreign chains. Sit down. Hold your breath, because what you are about to hear will shake your soul. This is the Ekumeku Resistance. Please do well to like and subscribe to this channel. This war began in the late 1880s. British traders and soldiers came to Igboland to expand their rule. They set up courts, laws, and taxes. The Igbo people lived in villages and towns. They had chiefs, titles, and their own justice. But the foreigners saw no respect for these things. The British demanded tax and control. They punished people who resisted. The Igbos saw injustice. Farmers lost land. Traders lost goods. Their religion and customs were ignored. These hurt hearts. So, brave men and women rose to defend their land. They called their movement Ekumeku, the spirit of resistance. Listen close. Listen well. The Ekumeku had many leaders. Ochiaga Obiku came from Ugbokwa area. He trained fighters in secret, in forests and caves. Another leader was Ikemba Nzeze, who came from Nibo. Nzeze made messengers and spies. They passed news through rivers and trees. In one town, Ogidi, there was a woman hero, Maduka Onwudiwe. She carried food and messages to fighters by night. She also nursed the wounded by firelight. Her hands were soft, but her heart was firm as a warrior's. The first battles happened around 1894. British soldiers came in boots, rifles, and steel guns. Igbo fighters came with machetes, bows, and old rifles. The British marched from Onitsha. The Ekumeku met them at Nuogu Forest. It was dawn. Fog covered the trees. Onwudiwe hid in thick bushes, passing water and food. Fighters jumped from behind trees. Arrows flew. Machetes flashed. The British fired their rifles. The earth shook with gunshots. For 2 days, the forest was full of noise, cries, metal, and smoke. Though outgunned, the Ekumeku pushed the British back. The British retreated to their boats on the river. This was their first taste of defeat in Igboland. The British did not accept defeat. They returned in 1896 with stronger forces from Lagos. They brought cannons and hundreds of soldiers. They moved through towns. Ihiala, Neni, Aguleri. Everywhere they demanded surrender. At Aguleri fields, men and women fought together. The British fired cannons into the villages. Houses burned. Smoke rose high, but the Ekumeku hid in caves and river valleys. They struck at night, set fire to supply camps. They cut British lines in the forests. This time the British lost many men. Their commander, Captain Lawrence, fell to a sniper's bullet near a river bank. The Igbo people mourned him, but they kept going. The towns rejoiced, crying, Oka Madu, great men. The war reached its deadly height in 1898. The biggest battle was at Oguta Lake shores. The British arrived by steam gunboats. The Ekumeku hid on land, waiting in hideouts. At midnight, the Igbo fighters rushed the boat crews. There was shooting and wailing. Cannons boomed from the lake. British rifles cracked. For 12 hours, the battle raged. Mud, flood, blood, and tears. At dawn, the Ekumeku had held the ground. The British fell back to their boats. Many wounded, many dead. But the British brought more soldiers. They burned villages in revenge. In Neni, they burned what is now called the Street of Fire. Many people died of hunger and disease after losing their homes. By 1899, the war wore on. The Ekumeku fought in small groups, but the British had more guns, more men, and new tactics. They bribed some chiefs. They signed false treaties in places like Enugu, Onitsha Road. The leaders hid, moved from forest to forest. They fought on. Supplies ran low. The people were tired. In February 1900, the last stronghold fell in the Ibusa forests. Ubikwe and Nzeze surrendered, not out of defeat of spirit, but to save their people from more suffering. So who won? The British declared victory. They built roads and police stations. They brought law and order by their rules. But this victory cost many lives. The Igboland felt the scar. Yet the Ekumeku want something more lasting: respect and pride. Their fight showed that the people would not bow easily. Many chiefs carried scars and stories. Children learned about brave Onwudiwe, Obikwe, and Nzeze. Their names went into songs and proverbs. And so, dear listeners, the Ekumeku Resistance ended. The British claimed control, but they could never claim hearts. The courage shown in those forests, lakes, and villages still lives in every Igbo child who hears the story. Like this tale? Hit like and subscribe for more. Share with your friends. Tell them heroes are born when people stand together. Until next time, may your roots be strong and your spirits brave.